Hello everybody, welcome back to Language, Litigation, and Integration, Part 67, Special Maturity. Not special, special. Maturity of the species. Today we're going to talk about a lot of talking points of current events. There was some good history discussion. I watched most of the Norman Neymark and Lex Friedman conversation on Lex Friedman's YouTube channel recently. So just some stuff I wanted to respond to there. So a little bit of history today, a little bit of, philosophy, if you want to call it that, and a little bit of law, and then some current events. Maybe a story or two where applicable. But what are the question I wanted to start with was, what are the roles of individuals, companies, and nations in response to genocide? We got the, correct pronunciation, the Uyghurs in China. We've had, they talked about Mao Zedong quite a bit. We've referenced him in this lecture series. There's a lot of things in the news about, Mark Cuboid's not being able to criticize China, or the NBA not being able to criticize China because the Chinese Communist Party will just shut you down or some shit for business reasons. And I don't know how you're going to shut down math. I mean, you could. That'd be pretty good for your country. Stupid fucks. But what are the roles of individuals, companies, and nations? And he pointed out, Norman did, that military intervention must do less harm than the violations it is relieving. Talk about blame transfer. They talked about blame transference and victim hierarchies. Basically, just even amongst the people that are being victimized by true oppression, true genocide, still forming hierarchies of, again, who's to do this, who's to do that, or who gets this right, who gets that right. And I just really want to point out it's blame transference. It's against the immaturity of the species. It's basically the mindset of, where I have some notes written down. But it's basically, not my problem, I've been abused, it's not my problem to fix everything in the world. And then you in the thought of you get what you deserve. That's kind of where the blame transference goes for victim hierarchies. It's like, again, someone's been exposed to some sort of abuse, some sort of neglect, some sort of oppression, some sort of genocide, and they become insensitive to it. So it's like this: if I can suffer this much, that person can suffer this much, and we still have to go about our day as best as we can. So that's really why you get victim hierarchies. They talk about the origin and etymology of the word genocide. Again, genocide to me is just mass homicide, killing a bunch of people. Grouping, they had like some 4 groups, like religious, ethnic, grouping, doesn't matter, just mass genocide. Whatever, mass homicide, mass murder would be genocide for any reason. And what affects practical change? So what roles do I think individuals have? Just education. I really don't think, again, even with military intervention doing less harm than the violations it's relieving, I really don't think individuals can do that much except for education, promotion, make videos, talk, speak, write books. Companies, I think it's pretty pussy to support any country doing substantial genocide, or being a bitch to China, or being incapable of criticizing them, because again, most people who own businesses, you don't really have an obligation to your shareholders. No one gives a fuck that much. No one needs that much money. People want to be happy, people want to be safe. Safety comes first, then happiness. But I think it's pussy to fucking do business with shitty companies, I really do. Because again, there's more things in life matter than money, boys and girls. And if you're a true businessman or businesswoman or innovator, you can fucking make a pile of money over here, a pile of money over here, a pile of money over here. You don't have to shell out shitty labor laws and get your fabric sewn up real cheap. I think it's pussy ass shit. And nations. And this again really is what's practical. Again, if I was a commander in chief, I would certainly, again, if you had a terrorist cell, I'd blow up 100% of them. But how do you practically assert that? What about the women and children are there? So then you're going to back off. Then, this country's doing this genocide, we should certainly invade and do this. But again, you turn a corner and you shoot a kid, and then that kid hates your country, and then you get another splinter cell over here. So tariffs, again, I think just the stuff people actually fucking do. Because really, the real thing that affects change is the education. The species maturity going from that 7 to 9% we talk about in education or in finance to 60, 70%. The power's in the people. And all the people are educated or on the same sentiment. then there's no government. The government has to respond to the people. So that's what I kind of think there. Good versus evil. They also talked about this again. This good versus evil versus primitivity and behavior acceptance. Again, this is what I talked about with blame transference. Is good versus evil. It's just sorry, Lex, you're a little underdeveloped still, but it's just more like, again, what behavior and what level of suffering or exposure to just adversity are people willing to accept for one person as opposed to what they went through themselves and what their ideals are, right? Again, our valueless society is pretty much just mind your own business, feel responsibility for nothing, and then say, I'm the bestest, greatest, awesomest person ever. Good versus evil really comes from, again, this underdeveloped species, like needing a hero figure, needing this, needing that. And again, the reality of behavior is we all learn the same things at different stages in life. Maturity is just growing up. Can't say what you don't know. You have to experience shit, or at least be opening to listening to stuff. Again, people really don't stop whoring around and think about anything besides themselves until about 30 to 35 years of age. And past that, it's like a rite of passage for the pathetic society. It's like, it's my right to whore around, my right to be selfish, my right to do this. And it just gets stagnated society and bona fide. I mean, this isn't, I was saying this shit before it happened, and now it's certainly happened. And it's like, oh, good versus evil. It's like, no. Let me make sure I'm still rolling. And then again, Lex goes back to talking about beauty and love. And again, I'm sure you guys are sitting there thinking about my understanding terrorism section of my paper where I said, love connects us all. Yeah, love is practical though. It's understanding behavior and what other people are going through and being efficient practically. Dude, actually, right, let me get just quick, all the time in America, I'll go into the gym and the front desk lady will, most of the time, sometimes a girl, sometimes a guy, and they'll smile and say, how are you, as like a greeting, and then I will genuinely respond, I'm doing well, how are you? Like actually wanting to hear what they say, and then they won't even physically respond in person. They won't literally respond to that statement. It's like, okay, I can ask you a direct question in person, directly to your face, and it's more of just like a casual, fleeting interaction because I'm at a job and this is what you say when people come in. It's like, I actually just want to have a conversation. And so, talking about beauty and love, it's connecting with other people. And connecting isn't this kumbaya, we're all beautiful, lovely people. We're all hairy monkeys on a fucking rock trying to survive. So my opinions on love and beauty of what I've written about is way more practical than Mr. Friedman's getting at. But another really interesting section of the conversation with Norman Naimark was Norman talks about, and Lex says he was raised in the Soviet Union to about 13, clearly speaks some Russian or fluent in Russian, but they talk about reading versus speaking versus writing for language learning. And Norman says he can read it fine and he can speak it fine, but writing is the part that throws him. And that's it. This is where you translate. This is why you do this. This is why you associate letters to sounds. Writing is the key aspect of learning language. Speaking can be extremely mimetic. Reading, you'll get the gist of it really quick just because of prepositional phrases, and you already have an intuitive understanding, instinctual understanding of the structure of language because you're a physical and biological being. So again, I just thought that was because this is a historian. Again, I didn't get into history until I proved a bunch of shit, but history is probably one of my favorite subjects at this point. I mean, it's probably kind of history and biology really, but I just thought that was very interesting coming from a historian and again, a linguist to some extent. Lex also says life is a gift, and so I have a story about that. Again, I told you the bulk of the story. When I went to IAS and I go in there and the chick clearly knows who I am. You pass the street, Girdle Lane and Albert Einstein Jerkoff Road. And then go in there and the chick knows exactly who I am, but she's a criminal. So she says, no, she doesn't recognize me. Some other cunt comes over and says, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. We go outside, and I told you the quote. What did he say? Well, I asked him, what would you say to somebody who's destroying your family? He says, I don't know, and that's why I don't know either. And he thought it was like a zinger, but it was just an honest fucking question. But right before that, he says, you have a gift. Yeah, my life has been such a fucking gift. People just gave me life, and then I have suffered. Then I'm a scapegoat. Then I have no constitutional rights. I can't take care of my health. That ear infection that I referenced in this the infection's been gone for a while, but I can still tell just the tissue didn't heal properly, and so I have like a 1 out of 10 uncomfortable in my right ear still. 18 fucking months later, because I don't have access to basic healthcare. Basic healthcare. Life is a gift. I have a gift. Fan-fucking-tastic. When does love become practical? When do you respect your own laws? When do you respect my rights? Never. The answer is never. Brad's smart. Fuck him. So now current events. Elon Musk. We'll talk about him a little bit. He got a new haircut. I really do think I'm with Jim Cramer on that one. I think he did get inspired by Kim Jong-un. I really thought that was fucking hilarious. He had a nice exchange. He's the person of the year. That's pretty cool. Doing the most good. Elon Musk helping the most people. Elon Musk, what an innovator. What a scientist. Man, I totally agree. Elon Musk is the person of the year. But I thought the Twitter exchange with Elizabeth Warren was absolutely fucking hilarious. It was like, you could just look it up. But basically, little Elizabeth Warren's like, let's change the laws so the person of the year can pay his fair share of taxes. And then Elon Musk is like, yeah, I pay the most taxes ever in human history. And then what the fuck did he say that made me laugh? It was like, I didn't pull up the tweets, but it was like, don't spend it all in one place. Oh wait, you already did. I thought that was fucking hilarious. Morally, practically, do I think, again, I think, and I don't respect Elon Musk, I just fucking don't. Still not sure if you know how to pronounce your own kid's name yet. Looked like a cute kid though. He looked like a fun little dude. But, what was I gonna fucking say? I don't know. But Elon Musk, the morality of the innovator or the tax man. And again, blanket statement of more taxation for other people. Again, people don't understand the size of the economy. I really don't think it would matter or like fix anything until like super guessing the quadrillions. So I think Elizabeth Warren is economically wrong. Elon Musk, I thought was a funny interaction. Let me pause so there's not a fucking lawn care going on right now. So just a quick intermission there because the neighborhood's getting some lawn care going on. Might have to shut off again if they come back. But another thing I saw, Michael Strahan got his number being retired. And I just thought this was a good, interesting thing for the quote I told you about. He's still working hard. Why are you still working? Why is he still working? He's still working hard. Michael Strahan had an extensive career in the NFL. He hosts multiple daytime television shows. He just had his number retired, and then people ask him, "What's next?" Not. He's still working hard. What's next? Lawn care's coming back. We'll keep going for a little bit. But I just thought that was super interesting. And this is the difference between being a scapegoat and being in society. No matter what happens, the polite, respectful thing. Hey, how you doing? And then actually responding. Hey man, what's up? Come do this. And then actually doing so. Oh, you've done this so many things. Well, that offends me, so shut the fuck up and don't do any more. He's still working hard versus, hey man, what's next? So I thought that was super interesting. Now, there was no punishment for the U.S. troops murdering children. The Pentagon, the thing about bombing the kids. Again, this is the United States government. Literally, if you get a gold star, Purple Heart, as long as you blow up the right kids. No punishment at all for just murdering children. If you want to be a murderer, you want to kill people, go join the governments, go join the military, and then once you slaughter children, it's a cost we have to take, and we're certainly not going to punish it. No consequences for our actions. Kill kids all you want. In the same kind of vein, Mark Meadows was found guilty of contempt in court for denying a subpoena for January 6th. He could face up to 1 year in jail, but, and I quote, "The House is not looking to go that far." I have LOL to the 69,000 again. Imagine saying that about prosecutors, attorney generals. Imagine saying that about drug dealers. Oh, well, he committed crimes, but we're not going to go that far. I mean, we're not going to sentence him. I mean, he had some information, some text, I didn't really review the case that much, but he had some case about a fucking insurrection, a literal insurrection. So, super casual, nothing too big, nothing to worry about there. It's like one of the most violent things that ever go on in human history, but no one really cares that much because, we all need something to do today, and but we can't go that far. No, we can't actually punish people who are actually criminals. We can't actually do that. Can't go that far. Amazing. Derek Chauvin to change his plea to guilty in the George Floyd civil suit. Oh man, why'd you do that, Derek? It's almost like you fucking murdered a guy. So that was, again, this one talking about people admitting to guilt more. You know, if you can't do the crime, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. But we were gonna say, blue line, blue line, blue line, and now, we don't want to lose our money. We don't want to lose the most important thing in our life is our fucking piss off little money, because wow, you know, you gotta save our Derek Chauvin. I'm sure you have like what, $30,000 in savings. Whew. Better change your plea there. But again, this is an admission of guilt. There was substantial damage in Kentucky and southern Ohio, just from tornadoes and shit. I don't know, just a note I had written down. I think natural disasters suck, so kind of feel bad for the people that lost their shit in Kentucky and southern Ohio. Joe Biden gave it a visit. This is just random current events now. But there was a trending on YouTube. It was why we should not look for aliens. And it was Kurzgesagt. In a nutshell is kind of what it says. But I don't know, it's probably German maybe, Kurzgesagt. And that's not me translating, that's what it says on their YouTube channel. They have 17.2 million subscribers, and it was trending like yesterday or today. Yeah, we shouldn't look for aliens, they don't exist. None of them exist, like literally none of them. And it's amazing to me to see, again, history just blows by these people. It's a trending video. We should not look for aliens because they're gonna be violent and attack us. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which extended species live here currently, like every single fucking day. So yeah, we shouldn't look for aliens, they're everywhere. Show me your eyeballs. But again, my point is to see it trending on YouTube. It's like, again, these are like the major science channels promoting strictly scientific fraud. Strictly scientific fraud. Once something is proven wrong, or proven correct, or proven there's a solution that exists, and then you say this shit, you are literally a fraudulent scientific administrator pumping bullshit for views. And again, it stagnates society. Profoundly amazing. Then we can't go a day without ripping on Ben Shapiro, an absolute carnival of hypocrisy. But Ben Shapiro, I just watched this thing and it looks like he has fucking lip fillers. And then I Googled it and it's Ben Shapiro bottom lip Instagram account. So there's an Instagram account for Ben Shapiro's bottom lip, which I too think has fucking lip injections in there. And speciality, Botox, like 100% of body modifications look fucking weird. Yeah, I can't say that exactly because of maybe the ones that I don't notice don't look that weird, but overall, like, again, natural attractiveness is just your health. Putting fillers in your body in no objective way is going to look good. But I just have Ben Shapiro is still intellectual AIDS. He's now having pronunciation strokes. Omicron. What's the other one he did? Smolier. Dicks everywhere, Ben. But it'd be small letter, Smollett. I don't know where the E comes in there. But again, you see Smolier, you see pronunciation preserving the sound E, even when it's wrong. Good job, Ben. But he says an insurrection requires institutional support. So let me just pull up the definition of an insurrection. And again, like I said, this guy, how often can you just create fraud? A violent uprising against an authority or government. It doesn't say a violent uprising against an authority or a government supported by a government. It just says a violent uprising against authority or a government. And that's what happens. So that's an insurrection. But no, Ben Shapiro, he's now the definitive source on definitions, on linguistics, on language. An insurrection requires institutional support. Categorically false. And then he says censorship, and that's with an S, is what the left wants. Ben, aren't you censoring information right now? Freedoms, buddy. Freedom of the press. Freedom of my constitutional rights. Are you aware of my research? So again, we only support the things, the social constructs that appeal to our 4.5 million subscribers on YouTube, so we can sell them shitty ads for Simply Safe, and ExpressVPN, and Raycons. And then he goes on to say, I have not and will not downplay the events of January 6th after literally downplaying the events of January 6th, saying an insurrection requires institutional support, to not call it an insurrection. Like literally like 2 sentences later. And then another travesty, again, Ben in his privilege and his arrogance. The White House had to cancel a lavish party. Again, biological mandates are nowhere in violation of anything. At this point, die the fuck off. I do not care in any way. But the big detriment to Ben Shapiro was, we had to cancel a party. Oh my goodness. We couldn't dress up in a nice suit with my whore of a wife who's a doctor who's also committing fraud and you know, have a party. Like, we're all so privileged. I don't have constitutional rights. I can't pay my bills comfortably. I have no potential for change. I have no access to schools. I have no access to all the shit I say every single fucking episode. But Ben's big travesty is he can't even, the White House can't have a lavish party. Because again, it's so useful for life and so important. And then he says Cornell is insane for having vaccine mandates because learning and freedom. Yeah, but again, if you're dead, then you can't learn. So that's really good. Again, the natural immunity shit, good. Go get the disease. You know, some more stupid people die off faster. They'll throw you a party. That's awesome. But again, my point is it's fraudulent. You can't, even if you don't understand how big this proof is, you can't just say wrong shit because you're just fucking stupid. The fundamental theorem of calculus exists, even if you don't ever take calculus, even if you don't go to high school, it's still out there in the world. There's still lots of, another note, let's leave some more, leave the fun biology for last. I think I'm pretty wrong on the body modifications. You can't mass is mass, you couldn't violate that. But maybe you have like more fluid joints, maybe you have less rigidity in your body. I don't know, because again, just going off the top of my head, the one dude on Joe Rogan that said he was abducted and had some memory, and he said he would push them away, they were very light. Maybe there's just anatomy, and again, there's a variety of shit. But any sort of modification, like look at mollusks, octopus. Right, as long as they can put their beak through something, they can squeeze their entire body through something. But their tentacles still like occupy space. So my guess is honestly just more fluid joints. That's my guess. Maybe some visual effects, maybe. Pretty sure I saw some rather small presentations yesterday. So I'm not too confident on there. The biggest thing, again, I think the 10 to 25%, even more than that's probably likely, if not possible. Because again, Navy and world governments that have data, you're watching them change you're watching acceleration. So when you go from standstill to 13,000 miles an hour, that's still like speeding up. That's not like maximum speed. But honestly, the only thing, if they could, even 1% of the speed of light would be colonization rather quickly. But again, different species in different localities. But the only other thing I could say definitively, and I guess I don't think the engines are that limited, but if it was substantially less than 1% of the speed of light, I would say that any species would have to live here, like meaning this probably this planet on an individual basis, right? They would still have heartbeats and lives and shit. And I can't see somebody, the big journey of science, leave your home planet or go do this or go do that just for like nonsense. Again, at the civilization level, they would have evolutions of histories all over the fucking place. So I don't think it would be that interesting. So I really do think there's ones that live here in small colonies, in the rocks, in the water, and the ice. So hope you learned something about special maturity and again, the biological and technological modifications at this point, I just, again, keep getting contradictory data and I don't know what the fuck to do with it. So that's all I think for today, and I'll give you more as I learn stuff. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something on language litigation and integration, part 67, special maturity.